Well. This looks promising.
The Book of Vile Darkness? Are you sure this is a good idea?
Anything related to Vecna isn't. But if my hypothesis is correct, this book holds the true names of most fiends in existence. Think of the army we could build.
I hope you're right.
Stand back.
Oh, me. Welcome back to A Compendium of Monsters. It's Nothic Week. Before we continue, slap that subscribe button and surrender your arcane knowledge. For the greater good, of course. Nothics are challenge level 2, and believe me, if they had two brain cells to rub together, they might not be a Nothic. These medium aberrations have an armor class of 15, average hit points of 45, a speed of 30 feet, and true sight out to 120 feet. Remember, true sight allows a creature to see unobstructed in any kind of darkness, see onto the ethereal plane, and see through magical illusions. Nothics only speak Undercommon, which is strange considering they have an obsessive habit for collecting knowledge from those who pass through their domain. I feel like Nothics should at least have telepathy out to 30 feet. For their only ability, Nothics have Keen Sight, which gives them advantage on perception checks related to sight. You don't say, and here I thought that huge eye was just for decoration. Nothics have a basic multi-attack that allows them to strike twice with their claws. Its average damage is 20% below the standard for a challenge level 2 creature, indicating that Nothics are unlikely to fight unless they are required to. A Nothic has two other actions, Rotting Gaze and Weird Insight. Rotting Gaze forces a target creature within 30 feet to make a Constitution saving throw or take an average of 10 necrotic damage. Weird Insight is just that. A Nothic contests a nearby creature's deception with its own insight and gains a specific secret to that creature if the Nothic wins the contest. Hey! That's private information, you f***ing head. Luckily for some, a creature immune to being charmed is unaffected by Weird Insight. Nothics are created when power-hungry magic users, I'm sensing a trend here, stumble into they're not supposed to. In this particular instance, these magic users have typically none other than Vecna, god of liches and secrets. It would be easy to feel bad for these poor souls, except you really know what you're signing up for when digging for powerful arcane secrets. Once blasted into Nothic form, these once knowledge seekers lurk in areas full of magical knowledge, driven by whispers of their former lives and aspirations. However, nothing remains of a Nothic's former self, and a Nothic cannot be restored to its previous form short of divine intervention by a greater deity. Good luck with that! Oh, and I should probably mention that Vecna can see out of a Nothic's eye anytime he wants. What the hell, Vecna? Isn't it enough that they've already been cursed by your edgelord nonsense? What am I saying? That's a rhetorical question if I ever asked one. But yes, to answer your next question, Nothics do indeed serve in cults dedicated to Daddy Vecna himself. And now, it's time to make some fun. Nothics are notorious for infiltrating arcane academies and other places rich in magical learning. No, they're not. Look at this thing. As written, they can only speak Undercommon, are aberrations, and can't use spells like Alter Self or Disguise Self to appear like a typical humanoid. I get that there's a sore lack of protective spells on graveyards and other places where there are problems in towns, but places containing magical knowledge have both the resources and ability to protect themselves against aberrations, undead, fiends, and other creatures who might ransack the place. And to use Weird Insight to gain knowledge, Nothics have to be able to see their target, which greatly increases their chances of getting caught. Nothics need food, water, air, and sleep. It just doesn't make sense that a Nothic could feasibly infiltrate an active magical academy. Denied. I find the contradiction between Nothics' former and present selves a bit annoying. Nothics retain no awareness of their former selves immediately turns into skulking amid the shadows and haunting places rich in magical knowledge, drawn by memories and impulses they can't quite understand. Okay, so which is it? Either they have no awareness of their former selves, or they are drawn by memories and impulses they can't quite understand. Being drawn by memories and impulses indicates awareness of their former self, even if they don't understand the why. My personal inclination is that Nothics retain a shadow of their former selves as a reminder of what they've done. DMs! Nothics are pretty useless in combat and generally prefer living to death, so don't take the combat route unless your players are a group of murder hobos. Nothics are another creature great for advancing your campaign's plotline at a price. Do your players have a magic item they heavily depend on? Do they have magic items they've forgotten about? Mine certainly forget about theirs all the time. A Nothic always demands the best quality magic item it can see unless the party offers it something better. Depending on the rarity of the magic item your players' characters actually give to the Nothic, the quality of the information suffers or enriches. For an uncommon magic item, how about a vague and somewhat unhelpful riddle? For a very rare magic item, nothing is withheld. I recommend against forcibly taking legendary items from your players' characters. It's going to lead down a road of resentment no matter how well the encounter plays out. Why am I speaking of very rare and legendary items for a creature designed to be encountered with a level 2 party? Honestly, Nothics are typically part of a larger encounter that higher level parties are better suited for. For example, your party raids a safe house of a powerful baddie and needs information on how to proceed. Your plan might be to have your party seek out a magic weapon capable of damaging the baddie or some knowledge that prevents an undesirable event from occurring. This is a great place to have a Nothic appear and offer information. Now, couldn't your players just decide to torture the Nothic for information instead of offering a magic item as a bribe? Absolutely! Torture is proven to be the least effective method of getting accurate information out of someone. The injured party will say whatever it thinks will get the torture to stop. Perhaps that information leads the party into a deep dungeon that forces a non-escapable encounter with a Dracolich? Oops! Karma's a and so is payback. Your players could try something imaginative for once and use detect thoughts or modify memory, but there's no free lunch with a Nothic. Their entire being has gotten messed up by Vecna, a literal deity. Peeking into a Nothic's mind is something I'd make the player roll a saving throw against a permanent form of madness. However, it's your table and your rules. Players! Nothics are unlikely to fight you, so don't go in swinging unless they attack first. Weird Insight isn't considered an attack, but it should discomfort or anger your character. Give the Nothic a warning not to do it again, and they usually won't, even if they balk at the offense you've taken to their prying. If you come across a Nothic, it's because they have useful information you'll need in order to safely progress past where they're hanging out. Pay the bribe and move on, especially since your DM and I both know you have a hoard of magical items in your bags that you've forgotten about. You could try using detect thoughts or modify memory as a less than murderous attempt to get the information, but I personally would have you roll a save against obtaining a permanent form of madness. Nothics are crazy, and you really don't want to go into that mind if you don't absolutely have to. If you want to try and bypass any peaceful or relatively peaceful exchange with torture, you'll get what you fucking deserve. Anyways, what do you all think of Nothics? Let me know in the comments below. A special thank you to my patrons. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and make the leap to become one of my patrons on Patreon. I'll see you all next time.